To clean and oil the sewing machine, you're going to need to get your brush out of your accessory box here, and then find yourself a nice small screwdriver you can keep with this machine, because that's actually going to help you get the plate off. And then you're also going to need a small bit of sewing machine oil. So those last two things do not come with your machine, and you will need to purchase those separately. And we're going to start off by just reaching in and pulling out our bobbin case. And I'm going to take my scissors, and up at the top of the machine, I'm going to snip my thread away from my spool, and I'm actually going to pull this thread out towards me. Now, why did I do that? I recommend that to my students is because if you've ever noticed things that become linty right here, you're sewing on some cotton or some flannel or batting, and there's a lot of lint that gathers up around your presser foot and needle. Now, if you take your thread off the machine and pull it backwards, where does all the lint go? Well, it goes up into your tension disc and up into your take-up levers and up where you really don't want to be able to, or want that to be at all. So if you pull your thread out the needle, nothing goes back where it's not supposed to. So I would recommend that you take your needle out, so loosen that, take that out, and take your presser foot off, just the little bottom part, and you can disengage the IDT. Next, I'm going to have you take your screwdriver and just lift the throat plate up and out. I do like the fact that I don't have to loosen screws on here. It's just a pop and pull out. Now this would be where a lot of the lint is going to gather up here, and do not blow into this. Do not use canned air. That actually pushes more of that lint back into the machine, and it's not good for the machine at all. So that's where the brush comes in. Get in here and start cleaning this out. And you're going to notice it doesn't take much for the machine to really start to have a lot of lint. If you start getting some skip stitches, you're going to put a new needle in and clean the machine. We also need to oil this machine. So in the book it actually says every 8 hours, and that's hard to know of 8 hours of sewing time because we really don't sew a lot. You tend to sew and you spend most of the time pressing, pinning, cutting, all the prep work, but the sewing time is very minimal actually. So here's one thing that I might recommend is maybe every 3 to 5 bobbins that you use up, give the machine a little oil. So what I want you to do is just go ahead, and I'm going to rotate the hand wheel, and you're going to notice that one place rotates and one place does not. So what you want to do is actually put some oil between those two spots, a drop or two, not a lot, and then you can almost even run the machine. Just step on your foot control and let that kind of disperse. It will kind of take it to where it needs to go. I'm going to bring the needle back kind of up to its highest position here. Take up lever to the highest part, and then I can go ahead and reassemble. If I haven't put a new needle in lately, I can go ahead and do that. I'm going to actually put the needle in last. I'm going to go ahead and put the throat plate on and kind of push that off to the side here. As I put the throat plate on, I really just want to kind of snap it into place. Once it's kind of snapped in, it's nice and flush all the way around the machine. And then I'm going to put on my presser foot. If it is a foot with the IDT or dual feed, let's go ahead and just re-engage that right now. And the last thing I put in is my needle. And the reason for that is because now I have a presser foot in place, and I can almost drop the tip of the needle down into where that's going to be, bring that right on up, and then tighten it there. Then I'm going to go ahead, thread up the machine, bring up my bobbin thread, and I'm going to probably want to sew on a little scrap of fabric for a couple inches, and then that way if there's any extra oil, that it doesn't get on my thread or fabric, and it kind of just sews that right on out. But this is what you want to do on a regular basis. What I do want you to do is get in the habit scheduling your yearly annual checkup for your sewing machine at your local Pfaff store, and they're going to do the rest of the machine. There's a lot of moving parts all up and through the rest of the machine that need oiling and adjustment, and if you keep up on that regular maintenance, I guarantee that every time you get to sew, you are going to have trouble-free sewing. So this is your first line of defense. Once a year, take it in, whether you have sewed on it or not. It will make such a difference. And like I said, if life happens and you don't get to sew, keep on that annual service, because then that way when you do get to sew, it's all ready to use. When a machine sits and doesn't get action, it actually kind of dries up and doesn't want to move, and then things start to snowball and not work well. So like I said, though I know from experience, we have customers that take care of their machine annually and they never have problems. And then I have the other ones that come in every 2 years, 2.5, 3 years, and it is panic city because the machine has actually gone past what it needs to be and should have been taken care of earlier, and now they have to wait, and sometimes that leads to other problems. So moral of the story, take care of your machine and it will take care of you.